I'm sure Mother's cottage is perfectly fine.
Well done.
Returned, have you?
Just what I was looking for. Here's the gemstones, then. I could use that.
For me? Are you quite sure? You know, this vintage must have made it all the way up from the surface to the mountains, then to here. We've both had distant journeys, haven't we?
Well, I, for one, am certain this vintage here has journeyed to the right place. Please enjoy it.
Were you able to make it to my cottage on the surface, Zagreus? I hope my lavender patches are doing all right.
I couldn't make it all the way there, Mother. It's like, without your presence on the surface, I'm unable to hang on for very long at all.
Ah, I was afraid of that. Well, don't despair. I placed a charm upon my seedlings there that ought to keep them flourishing well on their own. Your duty now is simply to escape. You keep it up.
I will. Thank you, Mother. Father, all these shades, aren't they going to let on that Mother's back? What if word spreads and the Olympians find out?
You are so well accustomed to defying me that you forget there are no others, either living or dead, who would so dare. None in this house shall speak of this until we are prepared to make any announcements on our own terms.
Sounds like you've got it all under control.
Your Highness, over here. As you may know, lad, I have a connection to the weapons that you use, having once wielded one of them myself. Of course, not knowing its significance back then, but I digress. Sometimes it keeps in touch, and I have a vision from it to impart.
Oh, do you mean a vision from Varatha, the Eternal Spear? That's out of the ordinary, and also a bit concerning. So what did you see?
Well, I saw a great, bearded warrior, bigger than me, pitch black hair, bearing an aspect of Varatha unlike any with which I'm familiar. Then he was gone, but what still lingered were these words. I see you through the eyes of the Crimson Phoenix.
I see you through the eyes of the Crimson Phoenix. I don't understand. What's that supposed to mean?
There's one more thing. This was not my first such vision. Long ago, I saw one of Varatha's other bearers. It was you. Your infernal arms. They must be weapons of the Fates' design. They know already who shall brandish them. Now they ask a favor. Seek Varatha. Speak the words. Go.
I see you through the eyes of the Crimson Phoenix.
You can't be serious. You're serious? You know what? Fine. I'll take this and we'll go about our business. Though I don't see why you bother.
Why I bother? Why, how else can I show you how I feel except by handing you these bottles from time to time?
You're really staying, Zagreus? I mean, between the generally ill-conceived attempts to reach the surface every so often.
I am. I figured it's the only way I could continue interrupting you while you try to do your job. You work too hard then. Live a little, right?
Huh. Well then, I'll see what I can do about that. You'll have to show me what you mean by live a little, though.
I'll hold you to that. Mistakes are proof that you're doing your best. Hypnos must be on break. Bet you're happy to see Mother home again, huh, boy? Only wish you could have told me about her before.
The hell-born monster Cerberus contentedly ignores the prince's callous, inconsiderate remark.
Hey! Say, Orpheus, I heard what must have been a song of yours. It went something something in the blood. You know that one? It was amazing, mate.
Oh, that one, yes, I know. I mean, it was a favorite, I was told, by those who listened to the music I created with my muse. It was a most productive time back when we were alive.
Would you ever sing it again?
I shall give it some thought, I think.
What?
Here's all I caught. Done deal.
Such gifts won't stay my whip when next we meet out there. You realize that, right?
I realize it. And I hope you never change, Meg.
I hope you do. Gotta tell you something, Zagreus. I'm not getting any more used to losing to you like this. I mean, you don't even stop to rub it in. You know how humiliating that is.
Wait, you're saying you would feel less ashamed about the outcomes of our fights if I were to gloat more about beating you? How does that make any sense?
You know what doesn't make any sense? That you keep beating me. I must be getting sloppy if I'm that predictable. Too bad none of the other wretches I have to deal with put up much of a fight.
I'll keep putting up a fight if it's any consolation. I'll buy that. Trade you these gemstones. You trying to fleece me here? I'll have that nectar.